Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Delta Trends. Here in this video we will be discussing order flow settings in GoCharting. So most of the people who use order flow, they used to struggle with the order flow settings. So I'm making the job very easier by discussing about the settings, and GoCharting people, they really has done a very good job. The moment you type in GoCharting, you get the website, and the moment you type in GoCharting, you get the website. If you have already subscribed, you will get a thing like this, that whereas you can go either to profile billing. So these templates are saved by me. So this is how a order flow charts looks like. So how to get these charts is, you go into the charts, you have multiple things here. Here line charts, candlestick chart. So all the things, all the types of charts, point and figure, Kagi, Renko charts, etc. etc. So almost it has all the charts which are available in TradingView. And at last of this drop down button, you will have this imbalance and cluster charts. So either of one is enough. So I'm selecting imbalance. Both imbalance and cluster charts, they have more or less the same settings. So I'm going into this imbalance settings. This is how the order flow charts look like. And at the left corner you will have a drop down button. When you click it, you have all the whatever the charts has been enabled, whatever the features or indicators were enabled, you will get here. So you can either hide them or you can unhide. So if you unhide it, here I have other things like markers, day low, day high, week low, week high, these things and all. And I have a bigger band, I have volume here. So market profile I have. So everything I have disabled except the order flow chart, which is also called as imbalance chart because of imbalances. So here this is the main settings of these order flow charts, and we also have order flow settings here on the right side. So let's say here in auto mode, what happens is the moment I scale up or down, automatically the order block size is calculated. So whereas if I compress it, again the order flow size, the block size is being compressed. So instead of that, to get a standard thing, you can change here. So in Nifty, the minimum tick size is 0.05 into 100, we get 5 points. So for 1 point, you need to type in 20. So what does this mean is, for each and every 1 point, whatever the tick, whatever the order flow is being printed. So let's say for example, here you are looking at a 3. So this 3 is printed somewhere at 584 to 585. Here we have something called format volume. So what does this mean is, unlike normal stocks, here this Nifty and Bank Nifty, they trade in lot sizes. So look at how this delta changes when I disable it. So 1.1 is becoming 57k. So which is the notional value. So let's say if a lot size in Nifty is 50, so whatever here 57k is, if let's say for example there are, if I am enabling it, it's 1.1 lots. Here it is showing in terms of lots, whereas when I disable it, it is showing in terms of 1.1 into 50. So it's something like 57. So the exact number is a little more than that, so it is showing 1.1k. So that's it. So here the auto lot size, when I enable it, again it will be automatically calculating the lots. And you have power trade scanner, where based on the total volumes you can scan. So I'm going into this main settings here. So here we have all the fine tunings, whatever is necessary in this order flow or in balance chart. So here the first thing is candlestick. So I can either disable the candlestick, where I will everything will be disappearing along with order flow. And so what I have here is the width ratio. So maximum is 1. More than 1 you can't go. You can further reduce the width size. Let's say here I'm giving it like zero point 0.1. So you can see the candle width getting reduced. So I can keep it as even Next, we have something called halfback reference, which is nothing but a very simple thing in market profile and order flow. People use it. So it is nothing but the half of the candle. Here, the prices exactly got rejected at the high halfback, and it went up all the way, and then look at how the prices came down. So for strong reliability, the prices need to exactly reject at that point. So this is with the halfback, and we have, so again, candle border, you can change the candle border and you can change the wick color. It's black. Halfback color, it's white for me. You can change it, and you also have something called lost value. So when you enable it, you will get the value whatever LTP, whatever the LTP price is there, you will get it here. If you enable the name here, you will get the name, whatever the instrument you are trading. So it's the future Nifty. So I'm just disabling it because I don't want it. So I have a separate template and show cluster. If I disable this cluster, so what is happening? Everything is disappearing and I'm getting a single candle. So I am going to enable it, and I have something called profile. So what happens here is profile. When I enable it, actually this has to be made up with background. So I have to enable the background, and then if I enable the profile, let's see how it works. Look at it. So what is basically happening here, when I enable the background colors and when I'm enabling the profile here, when I'm enabling the background and when I'm enabling the profile, actually it is showing lines based on the order size. So let's say here there is a highest sell order, it's showing red, and the line size itself is much larger than anything in this area, and it's much darker in color. So here 493, it's a little less number, so it's less darker, and the size itself is less. On the right side, it's buy orders, okay, aggressive buy orders. So it's showing 873. Here 1.3k, it's much darker and it's much longer, the profile line. I have here imbalance settings here. You can change it to ratio, you can change it to fixed. So I'm keeping it ratio. So my ratio is 400%. You can minimum 200%. So if the imbalance ratio, buyer to seller, means left to right. So here 250 sellers are there, 700 buyers are there. So there is a imbalance here, strong imbalance, which is more than 200%. So it shows the yellow color. But look at this again here, 110 sellers, 252 buyers. So there is still a imbalance. But whereas here there is no imbalance. Imbalance is there, but it's not higher than the 200%. As an order flow trader, remember this very carefully. Higher this imbalance level. So let's say if it is 400%, you will get less noise. So whatever the previously you are getting too many imbalances. So now when I change it to 400%, everything is gone here. So it is reducing the noise in the market. But you also need to understand it's more reliable, and it's more reliable. 400% is more reliable than 200%, and you will get less number of buy or sell signal. Here you have support and resistance zone. So this support and resistance zone is nothing but based on the imbalances. Here number of imbalances, if it is 2, I'll show a line will be shown here. So it's basically showing the stacked imbalances, nothing else. So again, background color, as I said earlier, and there is something called lopeside format. So I honestly don't know what exactly this is. So apart from some background is disappearing when I enable it and disable it, and we have POC. So what is POC? Again, in market profile there is a separate POC. In order flow there is a POC. So the POC is nothing but the area where there is maximum volume. So here the POC is marked as left side separate and right side separate. So When I am enabling it, you could see here all. If you look at the left side whole area, 510 is the area where the maximum volume is there. At the same time, 3.2k is the 3.2k is the area where maximum volume is there on the right side of POC marker. So it shows. So here again, what is happening here is it is showing where the POC is there. So volume POC is combined, whereas POC here is individual wise, left side and right side, but whereas volume POC is combined. If you combine both side left and right, where the maximum volume is. So here it's the same 283, 380. So this is where the maximum volume is. If you even calculate all other sides, this will be the highest POC marker. The same areas where this is the point where the POC is there, you will get it when you enable this. Extend volume POC, actually it will be projected into the future. So it just shows that there it might act as a good support or resistance based on where the future price is. Previous POC marker. So just like previous the extend volume POC, what is happening is the previous POC it is getting into the next candle. So here this is where the previous POC is there. So it is again it acts as a support and resistance. Value area. So again value area is nothing but where the 70% of the prices have spent. So again in order flow I don't think it has much of use, and it has more to do with the market profile. In market profile it will be much more useful. Value area extension, the same, the value area range, whatever is there here, that will be extended into future. So here the color is different, so if we change it, it should have to first enable it. So if I enable the value area range and the value area extension, it will be extended into the future. So again, it acts as a good support and resistance in many of the cases. Value area extension, we have engulfing value area stroke. So if I change it again, so to see that again, I have to enable the value area. So let's say I enable it. Whenever I get a engulfing value, it will show me. So here the prices have engulfed, the value has engulfed the previous value area. So it shows that. So VWAP marker, when I enable it, where is the VWAP in that gap? So you can change the color again. So volume marker, so total volume. I'll I'll get that in here above the candle itself. So this is the 3,26,000 volume is the delta is 273. So that I am getting. So delta marker again, delta. How much delta is nothing but the net difference between buyer and seller. So here delta 708 tells us that buyers are getting strong. Cumulative delta. So cumulative delta is nothing but the net quantity of buyer or seller from the morning itself. So it is showing here. So rather I would keep this cumulative delta on the bar statistic instead of keeping it here. So delta divergence. So if there is a delta divergence, I get it here. So it's easy to spot. So you have a red candle, but the delta is positive. So it's a delta divergence. Now again, you need to be very careful with this delta divergence, because there is a delta divergence. It doesn't tell you anything. This delta divergence is not very strong, and it has happened towards the ending. So there are many things here. So here look at it. Again, here there is a delta divergence. This is a bullish divergence because the delta is positive, but the candle is negative or red. It is a bullish delta divergence, but the prices anyhow it went down. So you have to be very careful. You need entry points and exit points separately. So you always enter or exit below the previous low or above the previous highs. So we have caught marker. So when I enable it, you are getting caught low, caught high. So I have discussed in a separate video about all these things. You can go through that. So I have made a detailed video on all this: what is cumulative delta, what is caught low, caught high, what is imbalance, etc. in a separate video. You can go through that. So you have caught marker, caught low, caught high. Caught low will be shown on the top of the candle because it is the uh, it is nothing but the delta that is from lowest point to the current price. Hot high will be shown on the lower side of the candle. High low marker. So high low marker is nothing but the range of the candle, total range of the candle. Candle body marker is nothing but, so there is a difference between this high and low and body. So here, if the high and low is 51 points, the body is of 35 points, and the rest is the wick, whatever is there. Whenever there is unfinished auction, there is a possibility the prices might revisit this area. So again, this unfinished auction, unfinished business, I had discussed in a separate video. You can go through my other YouTube videos to get an understand. This is with order flow, guys, and very soon I will be making a video on settings of market profile. Stay tuned. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day.